Welcome back, Soloists. Agent Solo here to take you run through of this Siege Storm game in the Siege mode. Good solo run through of this game. I am the Seraphia deck. I'm playing against the Evil Goblins with the Spectral Shamans mixed in. I'm going to play it on medium, so that means the menace level is at 2. We'll explain how that works in a moment. The health is at 25. We need to beat him down, basically. Either he runs out of resources, as in cards to play, or we beat him down to his 0 in health. Once that happens, we win. We lose if we run out of cards before, as I said, this guy gets defeated or he runs out of cards. My hand currently, I've got a Protector and a Battle Priest. Now I might just run through somewhat here about what the cards talk about here. So I might highlight the Battle Priest, for example. So this is one of the good cards, one of my ally cards. This is the Battle Priest. He has a cost of 2. So what that means is I have to either discard 2 cards to put him out onto the battlefield, or if I have supporters, which I might do later in the game, I can use the supporters as 1 resource each to try and put him out into the game. Once the Battle Priest is out in the field, he has these active abilities, active stats here of 2 attack, 2 defense. Okay, people in the front line here can defend. People in the front line up this end, once they work their way up the track to this end, they're close to storming. They could either turn into supporters, they could either go onto my front line no man's land, or they can storm. When you pay for a card, so that was one way, I could put it out into the battlefield. I could also just pay for it to use its action. And that's the red box in the middle. The blue passive occurs when it is out on the battlefield only. So I can't activate a passive ability if it's in my hand or if I pay for it just to use its action. It doesn't work that way. But that's a bit of a quick rundown. I think as we go through the game, you'll see how these cards interact. However, though, it's not my go. No! The evil boss, Goblin King, he goes first. At his medium difficulty, so maybe he just wants to play around with me a bit. But I'm hoping that I can beat him with, as I said from last episode, this setup, guys, I've got the starter deck for the Seraphia. I haven't done any deck building. I have played around with that. Been quite successful in getting up to the very hard level, but I don't think I've beaten the very hard level on it. Something I need to work on still. But here we go. So what you first do is draw the boss's hand. How many cards does he draw? Well, it says up on his conditions up here. He can draw, this symbol down here means he can draw 3 cards in his turn. There's also a special effect here. When any of Bolas's allies storm, increase the menace level by 1. We'll come to that. I'm very certain that will happen as the game goes on. What it means to storm. In general sense, storming is a way to try and get to the other side and do damage to either characters on the board or to the other opponent. Let's draw his hand of 3. Drawing his first hand of 3, looks like it's all the same kind of card. I have shuffled it, don't worry guys, I have. Turn him over. Oh wow. Okay, I've drawn the boss's hand here. Interesting first round here. He's got some quite high cost cards. Now let's just focus on a sample card of the bosses here. Top left is the cost of it. Now he must have the right amount of menace to be able to play this card. He's not got a menace of 2 at the moment. His aim is to play as many cards as he can that he could afford. Now, if these were all 2s, he would play all these cards. So it doesn't mean it accumulates up. It doesn't mean you go, oh, if this was a 2 card, I'll play that and I can't play anything else. If he can afford any of these cards, this is like the maximum that he could afford. So if these were all 2s, he would play them. These are all 4s, he can't play any of these. But let's just run through one of the cards and see what we can get out of this. That's the cost, 4. This is a leader. Leader cards go into his front line. The leader cards go into his front line or no man's land. They can't be placed into my front line. That's my area. This front line up here, that's his area. No man's land's first to claim it. I tend to play the Grim rule with this. If he plays a leader card and I've got nothing in No Man's Land, he will take that. That's how I've been playing this game. I could be wrong. I'm sure there's plenty of mistakes I make in all of my videos. Just please let me know. Other things about this card, what type of card it is. These might be referenced later on. Totem cards. Okay, so for example, the totem cards. Whenever a spirit token is placed in this card, activates passive ability. So symbols tend to refer back to these info cards, and that's why I leave them out on the board. He's got his own attack, what attack it does, what kind of defense it does before it can be killed. It has a passive. If it's placed out onto the field, the battlefield in No Man's Land or Frontline, for every 2 spirit, that symbol is, spirit on this card, each opponent sacrifices 1, meaning I must kill one of my cards. As it so happens, he can't play any cards. If he can't play any cards, what we do is we increase the menace by 1, and these will stay in his hand till the start of next turn. So he hasn't played anything. We'll keep playing as if this was true, which it is. I'm not going to try and mix this up and try and find cards that he can play right now. I'll keep playing, but he can't play any of these cards. Nothing will happen. He increases his menace, meaning he can afford higher cards next turn. These stay in his hand for the moment. We would normally advance the war track, his war track. We can't do that because he has nothing in his war track yet. That will happen soon. And to do that, that will happen if there's a deploy card that he plays. This one's a deploy card, for example, but he couldn't play it because it was too expensive. So the boss can't play any of these cards because they're too expensive. So what happens is they stay in his hand for the moment. Okay. The rules are for his turn. The first thing he does is discard the reserves. He doesn't do that first turn. He advances the war track next, which he doesn't do first turn. We drew cards. We drew 3 cards, his limit. We then play all his actions, which we tried to, we couldn't. And if there's any extra turns, if any cards refer to an extra turn, we do that now. But we can't. We go over to our turn. Alrighty, first thing we do on our turn as it refers to in here, this is a nice little handy reference. First thing we do is prepare. Prepare means if we had any supporters, we turn them back around, we refresh them. First round, can't do that. Second step, we draw. We already did that leading into the setup. And I drew these 2 cards. Okay. We then advance the war track, which we don't have any on at this stage. We then get a chance to deploy and play actions. Okay. What I've got in my hand, I've got a 2-cost card, which I can't play yet. I've got a 0-cost card, the Protector. I can either place him for 0 out onto my front line, and his passive will be active if I do that. And the passive, let's wait for the... I can pay 2 resources to negate an action or an ability targeting a card on your track. That one might be hard to do to start with, but it's there if I need it. Or I could play his action, but then I'll lose the card into my discard pile. Deal 2 damage if there are at least 2 cards on your track. Well, I don't want to do that either. So I'm just going to play him onto my front line to get my war track going. This card will stay in my hand. I don't discard it. I put him to the side. That's the end of my turn. Okay, so I've got my Protector in the front line. And what this would do, if the enemy had something about to storm this or about to come off their track, if he attacks me, I've got a defense of 2. But it only works for my ally down in the front line. Alrighty. Back to the enemy. So first step is he discards the cards he didn't play last turn. And these will go under a pile over here. He then draws another 3. Again, more shamans. Okay, this time. Good. Alrighty. There is a command order here. Now, first of all, the enemy will play the highest numbered card. Clearly, this one's the highest numbered card. His menace is 3. He can actually play this card. If there was evens like down here, there's a certain order. You deploy first. This has got a deploy on it. this Shaman Berserker. This one's got a leader. You'll see that this one's an action. If they are all the same cost, you do deploy, leader, special actions, and actions. Alrighty, so first step, that's my highest cost, Seal of Nova. Deal 2 damage to each player for each of their supporters. I don't have any supporters at the moment. I've started still my hand. My supporters haven't been started yet. So that's a good one to discard straight off the bat. So he discards with here. Apologies before. I think I called this the discard pile. This is the reserve pile. This will come back around. So we have to be careful with that one. Next, he has a both two, but he played the deploy. He'll put that in his front line. After that, he's got his leader card, which says on it, for each spirit on this card, recover 1 health. Ooh, okay. He's going to put that in No Man's Land. Now we're cooking here. He's got no other actions to play. Nothing can play extra turn. It's my turn. I prepare. There is no supports to prepare. I've got my hand still of 1. Draw 2 more. Okay. Now I've got options here. Clearly I can't play Sky Guardian, sorry. Because I need 4. I have options here. I could use it to pay for other cards, or I could keep it in my hand for another turn. The Scout, draw 2. That draw 2 is quite good. Yeah, I might play it for its action. Draw 2. I'm going to make my discard pile over here. I'm going to draw 2. 1, 2. Okay, excellent. Heal 2. Healing Golem. Seraphia deck has a lot of healing in it as their main theme. What should I put out there? Battle Priest, deal damage equal to the attack total. I want to put the Battle Priest out there. Let's play for 2. Goes back to the top of your resources. That's not too bad. He does 1 damage though. 5 heal. I don't need him. I might keep him. He's got 5 defense for another time. But this guy's 0. I can play him easily. Yeah, let's just play the old Paladin. So what happens is, I forgot to do this before I play any cards. I advance the war track. So he moves up to the No Man's Land up here. Now it's not a situation where he can attack across here. He's got to get to the end first before he can attack the boss. It's very hard to attack this side of the war track. You need special actions to be able to do that. He goes up to there. I'm going to play my old Paladin into the front line. He has an action of heal 2 once he gets to the end if he storms. His passive is I can draw 1 if I use a resource, so discard a card and draw 1. So that's kind of handy in the moment if I'm not getting the right cards. I could play Battle Priest, deal damage equal to attack value of a chosen card on your track. But my attack values are 0 and 1, so that's no good at the moment. I might keep my hand. Put my hand sideways like that so I know it's my hand. Over to the enemy. Discard card to reserve. He has no cards left over. He advances his war track. He gets to the middle. And you might be able to start to see what's happening here now. Hopefully very soon you will see things starting to storm. Builds nice, this game. Builds up really nice. Draw 3 more. Alrighty. I've got some goblins this time. So my highest ones are 1s. They're both deploys. So, okay, it doesn't matter which one you choose. So see I've got 1, 1, and they're both deploys. Now, I'd get to choose which one I want to put out there. I'm going to put Goblin Knight there because he's got defensive 3, but I'm not going to be storming just yet. I have to go off the track to storm. This guy is not going to be off the track next turn. So I'll put the Goblin Knight out. Now, it's got a special... It's had the same as this one. This special gang. That means if you play another Goblin card here, I'll put a token on this Goblin Knight, and it means that it's attack +1. So instead of hitting for 1, he'll hit for 2, this Goblin Knight, as he gets to the bottom. So I'm going to play this card, go to the discard pile, and I put a token on it. There we go. So that means he's going to hit for me for 2 when he gets through. His last card is Seal of Haste. Advance your war track once. Ooh, ouch. Okay. So this guy goes up. This guy goes up. So advancing war track is the whole thing. It's like it's pushing along like a conveyor belt. This is discarded. My turn. Prepare. I have no supporter cards. I draw up. I've still got 3 cards, man, which is quite good. I draw 2. 1, 2. Excellent. We're starting to get moving now. Okay. I'll then advance my war track. Very, very close to the end. Next turn, the protector will come off. Yeah. Look to the left here. I look to the left here. He's got 2 attack this Shaman Berserker. So I need something that might defend that next go here. Because he will come off. I need something to defend it. I can play Griffin Cavalry. It's quite good. Play Sky Guardian. That's also quite good. Or do I take it easy? I need to defend 2. Just only 2. Stag Rider. Deal damage equal to the smallest attack value track. Okay. Put him out there. I think I do. Okay, what we'll do, I think I might put a lower one out. Try to save some of these big ones, but he's quite good. 5. Now let's put him out. Let's get the cavalry out there. I just feel it. I just feel it. I'm going to use the Battle Priest, Healing Golem, Sky Guardian. It's a lot of cards discarded, but yeah, let's do it. I'll do it. Griffin Cavalry out there. So I could use his action, draw 2, move your track up by 1. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put him out into the front line. My hand stays there. I can't really do much with the Stagger. I've got nothing to pay for it. And of course, you can't pay a card for itself. So it says 1. I can't use this card to pay for itself. It needs to be another card. Let's put it there for the moment. Discards are over here. Okay, my turn done. I don't have any extra turns. I own my turn. Discard the reserves. He had nothing left in his hand. Advance the war track. This Shaman Berserker comes out. It storms. Does 2 damage to me, but this Griffin Cavalry has 5 defense. So it stops it completely. Ingi gets discarded. Goblin Knight moves up. Now, when any of Bolas's allies storm, increase the menace by 1. Okay. So, his menace has now got to 4. He can start playing quite high cards now. Draw his hand of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Right, this is what I've drawn. Now, there's a card with 9 here. And you might say to yourself, how does he play 9 when he's got, I don't know, up to 5 here? It's a 5+. Once he hits that 5+ range, you can pretty much play any card. So he still can't play this just yet. He's got a Goblin Tank and a Goblin Archer. Ooh, I think I'd rather... Well, he has to play this first because it's a cost of 1. So, Goblin Archer goes in. Goblin Tank, he can play but won't fit. It will gang. So he'll discard. And he'll get a gang token. In fact, it gangs every other Goblin card out there that can gang. So not only does it gang the Goblin Archer, but gangs the Goblin Knight as well. So that's now a 3. Okay, interesting. Can't play the Totem Goblin. I'll put it to the side over here, sideways. Okay. Prepare, got nothing. I still need to get something up there. Draw up 2 more. 1, 2. Got a Stag Rider as well, still. Okay. Advance my war track. So Protector goes up. Now I've got a choice. I could storm it. Storming it would do damage here, which is 0 for him. It will get defended by what's over here, which is a 0 at the moment. So it would have been handy if I had something they could take, but I didn't. And also his action goes off. Deal 2 damage if there are at least 2 cards on your track. Look, I could do that, but I don't think it's worth it. I think I'd rather have him as a supporter. Supporter, I'll put him over here, and he is a resource I can use by tapping, and he untaps each turn. That's the prepare step at the start. I can untap them. So I've got an extra resource there I can use. All of these guys come up forward 1. This guy's going to do 3 damage. I need something to defend 3. I've got Angelic Emissary. So Angelic Emissary. Attack 2, defense 3. Move target enemy or ally back to its owner hand as an action. Ooh. I could put the Goblin Knot back to its hand, but I wouldn't mind having it out there though. But if he damages, yeah. I don't want him to get to a menace of 5, really. So maybe... I might have to get rid of my 6. I don't think I'm going to get that high again. So that's 1, 2, to play the action. Move target enemy or ally back to its owner's hand. He gets discarded. This goes back to his hand. Obviously the tokens go away. Goes back to his hand. Beautiful. Stag Rider again, he's left. Can't do anything with him. I could use the passive on the old Paladin to draw one. Opponent can't play any cards or abilities during your turn. Okay. Now, this one here, I'm just reading this, sorry, in the background. The passive, opponents can't play any cards or abilities during your turn. So if the boss had an ability that it could play, it clearly can't play cards during turn. That's more for the multiplayer game. But he might have abilities that could trigger during my turn. It wouldn't happen while this Griffin is on my war track. Can't do anything with the Stag. End my turn. Interesting. Okay. Discard the reserves. Reserves, because I only get used once more again. I'll drop to 3. Okay. Okay. Advanced War Track. Now all the goblins are starting to come out. It's not looking good. Each spirit. So spirit hasn't done much yet for him. You might notice these restoration tones, which I'm about to play another one. For each spirit on this card. Now, if you can't play... there's certain cards in the deck that have a spirit symbol up here. If you couldn't deploy it, it would instead trigger any spirit. It will place spirit, on totems. Let's put it back. So this is the highest cost. Restoration totem, go there. He's got 2 of them. Okay. So every time a spirit goes on there, he would cover 1. If there's a second spirit that goes onto it, he would then recover 2. But it only occurs once a spirit goes onto these cards. However, if a spirit goes on, I'm going both. So he's going to recover 2, then could be covering 4. So I need to get rid of them soon. This is a 1. Gets deployed. Goblin Killer. Won't get deployed, it'll gang both of these. Ouch. Okay, lots of minions trying to gang up on me. I have to stop this. I have to do some damage very soon. My turn. Let's prepare. Let's draw. To prepare, I could flip over my supporter. 2 Stag Riders and a Fountain Guard. I like that Fountain Guard, actually. This one's a good one. I might play this one. Costs 3, which will be all my hand. Action is place any card from your hand on your front. Place any card from your hand on your front line of No Man's Land. I don't have anything in my front line yet. But I might keep it on my track. Because it says here, after your card storms, add it as your supporter. So anytime it storms, it will come as my supporter over here. That is fantastic. So it saves me, I could do a storm and then it would still support. You can't do both at the same time unless you have an ability like this. So I'm going to pay 3 for that one. Tap that. These 2 get discarded. It comes out there. I should have advanced my war track first, actually. Because I had a gap there. These go up. Old Paladin comes up here. I could heal 2. Now what heal does... If I storm with him and heal 2, 2 of my cards from a discard pile will come into a new pile. And it's basically, I can't draw them out again, but it just slows down my discarding from the top. So if I take damage, if he ever does damage, proper damage to me, instead of being defended, I have to discard top of my resources. So it basically gets me closer to losing. If I heal, I'll get 2 of my discard back in play here that are used if I take damage again or need to discard down. It will come from the top of that. Anyway, pay for 3 for this guy. Old Paladin. Do I storm? He does he can do 1 damage straight through. Because this guy only has a defense of 0. I think I want supporters. Supporters would be awesome. Let's put him as a supporter. He stays up at the moment because I could use some abilities during my turn, my passive abilities, if they had cost to play. You could use that during their turn. Alrighty, that's my turn gone. Back over to the boss. 3 cards. Okay, wow. So there's a 7. He has yet to get to 5 minutes. I'm glad I sort of killed that guy off before getting there, so he can't play that. Let's put size over there. These guys, sorry, I forgot to do this. These guys come down. I hope he doesn't advance his war track. This guy will deploy, Shaman Berserker. So see how he has a spirit? So if he couldn't deploy, he would play spirit on these things. I haven't done any damage to the boss yet either. I really need to do that. Hard balance of things here. He's deployed. I've got a spare leader. Now, leader doesn't have any abilities if it doesn't get placed. So he will go into the pile over here too. Because I've already got these 2 filled out. If it was a higher cost leader, I would replace one of these. It's a lower cost. It will be discarded next turn. Might go. See how quick this can go, guys? Yeah. Prepare. 1, 2. Got a low card in this time. Guardian of Time. Another. That's a commander. Kill one enemy, draw a card. Ooh. Now what kill does, if I use the commander, kill will not only put it back to his hand, but destroy the creature. If I use the action. He's going to do 4 damage and... no. I could use Guardian of Time to take an extra turn? That could be handy, actually. Alrighty, let's move these things forward. Griffin Cavalry moves forward. I am deciding to storm with this one. Storm, and I'm just, as I'm thinking of that, did I have this guy out before? No, I didn't. I just think if he was out before, I'm not sure why I didn't storm the previous guy. But no, I didn't. I'm very sorry. Griffin Cavalry. So I'm going to give him to storm. He'll do 4 damage. There's no defense here. That's fantastic. Now I can target one of these. We'll do 4 damage to the boss. Yeah. I don't think much spirit's coming out for him. So I might do 4 damage to the boss. As long as I keep that menace below 5, I think I can... Yeah, let's damage him. So 4 damage, not defended. 4 damage to the boss, so I'll put this down to 21. Yes. Damage. I then get to draw 2, because I use the action as well. Draw 2 and move your track up by 1. Okay, so this guy would be here before I would have played this. So I'm going to draw 2. He goes discard. 1, 2. Still got that one in my hand. And draw 2. He then moves track up again by 1. And then after my card storms, this guy adds it as a supporter. Oh, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Okay. Opponent discards 2, you draw 2. That's kind of good. Opponent discards 2, you draw 2. Kill one enemy. Kill one enemy, draw a card. I think I might do that. 1, 2, 3 resources. Kill one enemy. So I'm going to kill this guy. He goes straight to his casualty pile, which is his discard pile. And was it draw a card? Okay. I could take an extra turn. Pay for 1 to the... I might play 2 to use the action on this to take an extra turn off this one. So it's my turn again. This turn I'll declare over because I can't do anything else. I'm going to take an extra turn. So back up to the top of this, I get to prepare again, which is fantastic. I get to draw again. which is somewhat fantastic. Excellent, excellent. And then Advancement War Track. Now, just going over as he advances during this extra turn. I said there was a few things you could do when you get past the line. You could storm. Storm means you can attack and then use your action, not the passive one though. You can add it as a supporter, doesn't do anything, just adds a supporter more resources. The other third one which I haven't done yet is Hold Ground, which puts it on your front line or No Man's Land if it's free. Now I can't overtake this one that's already there. So I'll have to put it in my front line if I want to do that. I like to do that because if it's in your front line, your card Storm's added as your supporter. The passive ability is available every time that happens. Also, if I put it there, he'll be forced to attack it instead of me as he gets through for the boss rules. So I might hold ground with it. And I might be playing more of a waiting game with this game. If he runs out of resources after he uses reserve pile again, he's defeated. It's as if I've outlasted him in the battlefield. Alrighty. Now, since my war truck's a bit empty, I might get it going again. I could kill one enemy with cost 3 or less. Assassin. I wouldn't mind doing the Alchemist. I'm going to discard my Angelic Emissary to play the Alchemist as an action. Yes. As an action. Opponent discards 2 and you draw 2. He's discarding 2, so that's his casualty pile for the solo rules. And I draw 2. I've still got my 3 supporters, by the way. I could draw 2 more. I'll do that. Scout, draw 2. There's the action. Ooh. I could play the Archangel. What's he cost? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't quite play him yet. Put Protector out there. Put Assassin. Just to put something out there. Let's put the Protective Field out there. That costs 2. 1, 2. Protective Field. Now he's got a passive. I could spend 1, negate an action or ability targeting a card on your track. So that could be handy if I've got 1 resource spare. Let's put in there. I don't think I could do much else. I could kill 1 enemy with cost 3 or less. I'm quite confident as long as he doesn't draw something that moves him twice, doesn't get there. I'll run the risk. I won't do that. Okay, that's still my hand. Bosses go. Discard reserves, has none. Advanced War Track. Draw 3. Ooh, a few minions. Okay. Highest cost, Goblin Archer. Deploy. This one. Oh, so next, yeah, deploys next. So 2 zeros, but deploys next. It will gang. Oh, wow. So that's all allies. Okay. Discarded, but he gangs everything else. So much of this gang stuff. Doing a good way of mitigating it, I think. He hasn't hit me. I know we're on medium. But he hasn't hit me yet. 1, 2, 3. That one's 4 damage. Yikes. Leader. He can't play the leader card, so it stays there. Alrighty. Doesn't have any extra turns. My go. I prepare. My hand. Draw 2. Alrighty. Archangel. Move this guy out. Protective Field, dude. Track. So I've moved him forward. Do I go for a bit of a kill here? Do I kill off that guy so it doesn't menace? I think I better. Yeah. Deal damage equal to the number of your supporters. That's kind of nice. As an action. The Archangel would be good. Archangel, interesting. That raise 4 in the solo game. I'll grab 4 of his cards that I could use for damage. Obviously, the top left will be their cost. Deploy a top casual for free. I might go down the path. I don't think I'll get to play him. I think I'm going to go down the path. I don't need this guy. Actually, no. I'll use these first. Go down the path of playing the assassin. Kill one enemy with cost 3 or less. It's going to get rid of the archer. So I'm keeping them away. That's one way to keep their war track away. You can't directly attack them with these, but I've got abilities that can do that. Unless they're shielded. Shielded, like the totem. He was in here somewhere, the totemic golem. I can't play abilities on shielded things. So this guy's tough. He's 8 attack, 8 defense. If he gets out, it's pretty much game over. Not quite, but pretty much. What do I put out? Protector, Fire Wizard. Maybe the Fire Wizard. Because I might keep that to be able to negate stuff. So let's play this guy. Fire Wizard. These two will stay in my hand. Okay. Bad dudes go. He's only got 1 card left to draw. He only drew 1 card. So we got to reshuffle his reserve pile. Reserve pile is now empty. He only uses it once, the reserve pile. So we reshuffle this. He's almost out. I think I'm going to outlast him here. As I said, this is on medium. So medium is more like small challenges, but you should win. Alrighty. So 1 card plus 2 more. And trust me, this game ramps up on hard, very hard. Hard, they can draw 4 cards. Very hard, he draws 5 cards. It gets quite tough. Okay. That, and I've shuffled in, only 11 cards from his deck. On hard, you're shuffling, I think, 15. And then on very hard, it's 20 or 18, something like that. So you'll have more resources. It's hard to sort of outlast. In medium mode, it's more about outlasting. You can defeat him. I've done it once, but yeah. Alrighty, discard reserves. So that's this guy. Now, discarding this guy to reserves. The reserves is now gone. So his reserve pile stays over here. But I've taken the reserve token off, means it's already been used. They don't get used again, but they still go to the reserve pile. Fancy's war track. He's barely hit me, this guy. Okay. Highest cost. First is deploy, Spiritual Shaman. He has a special action. The action comes into play if he either storms or he couldn't be deployed. That's a good one here. Take all seal cards from your casualties and shuffle them into your resources. He takes all those actions back into his hand again, which is pretty tough. So he's out now because he's got a mass of 4. Next is the Death Totem. It's going to replace one of these, so let's put it out here. It goes to a casualty pile or discard pile. Then he'll try to deploy this. It won't. It will do a spirit. Okay, finally my first spirit in the game. Spirit, we put tokens on the totems in his front line and the no man's land. Of course, guys, I could have been attacking those as I go through, but I decided not to. So there's a spirit there. He recovers 1 if there's a spirit on that one. So it activates straight away. Goes up to 22 again. This one here, I need 2 to activate this. For every 2 on this card, each opponent sacrifices 1. Basically means I have to destroy 1 from my war track. That's all he could do. He goes to casualty pile. Okay. That's all he could do. Might go. He hasn't many turns left. I'll prepare. I could have negated. Oh, there's no ability. So that's, for example, that's why this guy's handy. If he does do that sacrifice ability, this guy I can spend a resource to negate an action or ability targeting a card. So it can negate it if he's there. Draw 2. A couple of low cost ones. Advanced war track. No one's at the end. Scout, draw 2 more. It's free cost. Oh, this was already in my hand. Oh, I forgot that. Let's bring the scout back. Hang on. I thought I had something in my hand still. Put the Archangel out there. After your card storms, I do support. I haven't done that since. Do I just do that just to prove a point? I might just do that. Oh, actually, no, I can't afford it. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Wow. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I draw 2 with the scout and I can do that. 1, 2. Or I could just kill with him. That makes it so much easier. Very easy. 1, 2. This guy, assassin, kill one enemy, costs 3 or less. The shaman costs 2. I'll kill it. Good timing with that assassin stuff. It's happened a few times now. Switch places of any 2 enemies. I mean, this guy could switch any 2 enemies around if I had to. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put someone out there. Maybe the paladin. Put him out there. I could heal 2 now if I really wanted to. But I won't. Actually, yeah, well, cost 0. Heal 2. So he goes there. Heal 2. Actually, I'm not sure if that goes on top and then you heal. Let's say it does. I have to double check that one. There, heal 2 goes to there. So that means if I get hit, it comes out of this instead of coming from my actual resources. End my turn. Over here. Draw 3. Oh, sorry, not yet. Discard reserves. No. Advanced war track. Now draw 3. Now I'll just draw his last 3 cards here. So if he tries to draw again, that's the end of the game. Can't play Totemic Golem. Fantastic. Goes over there. He played this. Now this is what's interesting. This will overtake a cheaper one. So he's going to put the Death Totem Pole there. This will get discarded to his casualties. And he's got to deploy for the Goblin Knight right there. My go. Prepare. Draw 2. That's my draw pile here. Draw 2 more. Purge Doctor. I like that one. Up here, we now move everyone up. This one storms. He does 2 damage. He's got a 3 defender here, so nothing gets through. Move a card from any track to its owner's hand. If it was yours, add a supporter to his hand. Why not? I'll just do it to him. So that guy goes back to his hand, which was over there. Storms didn't do anything. If he storms, as my Fountain Guard does, after your card storms, as a supporter, got a 4th supporter. Now, what can I do here? Angel of Mercy. I'll play the Purge Doctor. Deal 2 damage for each of your opponent's supporters. That costs 2. Supporters are just to prove a point here. In the multiplayer game, supporters would be these. In the solo game, supporters is the menace level. So he's at a 4 menace level. So I'm doing 2 damage for each of your opponent's supporters. That'll be 2 times 4, which is 8. 8 damage to him. I'm not going to get him down close enough to defeat though. He's down to 14 here. Oops, that's my wrong. This one here. See, I'm almost out too. I only got 3 left. It's kind of close. I just wasn't doing enough damage. I mean, I am on the starter deck. I have my own construction deck where I do more damage, but so be it. I've got 2 of those left. Can't quite afford these. I might have to hold some. Let's put the protector out there. And that might do it. I don't really want to put anything else out there. Alrighty, over to him. Discards to reserves these. Advances war track. He tries to draw. There's nothing to draw. It's an automatic loss for the bad guy. Does it feel like I won? I don't know. I mean, when you play in the medium mode, it kind of feels that way. I suggest, though, it's a good way to train yourself up. That's why I sort of played this version of it, just to see, for those that are new to the game, and probably for me, since it's been a couple of months since I played this game, but I do love it. I've just been very busy with a lot of other games too, but I do rate this game. For solo people, I do rate it. There's a lot going on, a lot of thought. You can mix up, there's a lot of modular decks here. You can mix up the enemy, the types of enemies you face, how hard you make it, the difficulty changes is brilliant. I absolutely love that. I think this medium mode was good to train it with a couple of games. Then I started building up my deck, played hard, and go, ooh, this is a bit harder. And hard, I'm sort of 50-50 wins. Very hard. I don't think I've won. Maybe I won once. I really can't remember. But it's a great game. I haven't really played with many of the decks. I've only played with Styx and Serafia. There's still another 4 decks in there that I haven't played yet. The Gunslingers, the Ursa. I mean, there's a few really good looking decks in there that I really want to get into. But hopefully this gives you a good overview of it, guys. I recommend it solo. I think it's one that's gone under the radar a bit. Kickstarter did quite well, and I do rate this. I suppose maybe some people don't like the interactions with the cards. If the cards is a negative thing for you, then if you like to roll dice and things like that, fair enough. But I think this is a great card. I love card games. And this is a great one. I can't say much more about recommending this. I just think it's worth giving it a shot. It's been Agent Solo. It's been great showing off this game to you. I'm hoping I can get more games up soon. I know there's been a bit of a gap between my games. I've been quite busy the last few weeks with work, but hoping to get a few more up there just for my subscribers and for those that are interested in Siege Storm, for example. So this is Agent Solo, guys, and as I always say, to crush your gaming skills, always play solo. Till next time.